Hi, today I'm going to be talking to you about Google Docs. We're going to go through a little introduction, get you familiar with it, and start you using Google Docs. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is how you are going to be able to open Google Docs. So there's 3 different ways that you can access it. First, you should always make sure that you are signed into your Google account. And what you can do is you can go to the tic-tac-toe board, click on it, and you can go to More, then select Docs. The second way is if you type in the top URL bar, docs.google.com, that will take you into this section. My favorite way of using Docs is by going into my Drive first, finding the folder that I'm going to want to save the document in, and creating the doc directly from here. So that's what I'm going to show you. So you can see I'm in my IB folder in my Google Drive that I created last time. So I'm going to go to the New, and we talked about these before, but we didn't get to anything down here. So you can see we have a Google Docs section. So when I click on that, that's going to open up a blank document that I can work from, and it's going to automatically save everything directly into that IB folder. The thing that I absolutely love about Google Docs is that anytime you make the smallest change, it is going to automatically save everything for you. So there's no more worry of, oh, my computer just decided to reboot itself and I lost everything that I was just typing because I hadn't saved in a little while. Even just putting a period on your page, it automatically saves. So kind of a nice way to make sure that you're not going to lose anything. So let's get into some of kind of the basics of how to navigate this. Obviously, this is very similar to Microsoft Word, so if you are familiar with using that, then this should be a pretty easy transition for you. So first off, how do you name your document? So up in the top, you'll see Untitled Document. All you do is click in there, and you can name it whatever you would like. I'm just going to name it Google Docs since that's what we're talking about. Alright, then we're going to look at these menu options down here. I'm going to go into File, and you can see it already says all my changes have been saved. Go to File, and we're going to talk about a few options in here. We're going to be talking about Share a little bit later on once we actually have something we're sharing. Obviously, New, you can open up new items here. Open as if you have another document. The one I want to talk to you about is the Make a Copy. Make a Copy is extremely useful. So if someone sends you a document that is view only, you won't be able to make changes to it unless you do Make a Copy. So anything that you get from someone that is view only, if you want to make a copy of it, you can make changes to it after that fact and then save it to your drive. Kind of a nice way to be able to share documents with one another without having to worry about someone making changes to your original. Also, it works great with students. So if you're having your students work on a project and you give them a worksheet that they need to complete, if you give them, you know, the copy that's editable, kids might make a mistake and change your original. If you give them the view-only version and tell them to make a copy, they will all have their own copy of this, and they can work on it and change it however they would like. So going back into File, you have Move To, so you could move your document wherever you want to in your drive. Obviously, you can trash it as well. Moving down here to the Download As, so this is a Google Doc file, but you can also, if you want it to be a different compatibility for others. I mean, everyone can open a Google Doc on their device because it is, you can open it in any web browser. But if for some reason you need it in something else, like a Word document or a PDF file, this is where you would find that. Moving on down to your page setup, this is another important one. So this is where you would find your margins if you want to change it from portrait to landscape, or if you want to have a background color for your page. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to look at is the edit menu. You may or may not need your undo and redo, copy paste. They're all things that you can do, you know, with buttons like this or by right clicking. The view menu There are a few things in here, like if you want to show the ruler or get rid of it. An important one to make sure that you pay attention to is the mode that you were set up in. Whenever you're working, you should be in the edit mode. However, I've had kids in the past, you can see it's up here as well, that have accidentally clicked on something else and they're like, well, why can't I work in my document? It's because they accidentally switched it to viewing and weren't actually in the editing mode. So, just be aware that that is a feature. The insert menu is where you'll probably spend a good amount of time while you're in here. This is where you can insert images, links, equations, drawings, charts, tables. So you have a lot of things to choose from. This is also where your page numbers will be, your page count, all of these things that you can add into your document as you go along. Your formatting, you can see kind of your normal formatting, columns, your line spacing, alignment, all of that. More tools, of course, this has your spell check. There is a voice typing feature. I haven't tried it, but I'm sure it's quite handy. Table, if you insert a table in here, this would be where you find your little table features in order to make changes to your table. Add-ons are really cool. So I'm going to go into this add-on section. So what add-ons does is takes your basic Google Docs and makes it a little bit more fancy. This will allow, you can see there's a translate feature, there's a thesaurus. All of these things, most of them are free, but all these things are able to be added into Google Docs in order to do something else with it. Oh, I haven't seen this one before. That one looks interesting. So I'm going to click on one and download it. It'll ask you for your permission. And what that will do now, it'll say that I now have this available to me. So I go here and you'll see these are some other ones I have. Extensus font. So for those of you that might be lower school teachers, I know lower school teachers love their fancy fonts. This is why I found this particular add-on at my school, was because the younger teachers were asking for fancy fonts. So that's kind of neat. Joe Zoo Express helps with if you want to have something that you need to grade. This obviously is for rubrics. And then let's check out this MindMeister. So you can click Insert a Mind Map. Yep. So, okay, that one's new. Guess I'll have to play with a little bit more before I can show that to you. But know that there are a lot of cool add-ons out there, and you can check them out. Alright, moving on, there's obviously a help button as well. You can report problems that you encounter, or you can go into the Docs help and search through and see, if you're having a hard time doing something, to figure out how to do it. So down here you have your general toolbar, print, undo, redo, format painter. You can zoom your page in and out. This is kind of a very quick way. So let's say first thing I'm doing on my page is a title. It's going to change the font automatically to this setting, which is the title setting. And of course I can center that should I choose. The nice thing with when you use this setting, when I push return, it's going to go back to normal text. So this is back to the way I had set it up before. This, of course, are your fonts. So what it does, Google has a preset amount of fonts in here originally, but of course, if you add on the extensive fonts, then you can get more. But down here, there's also more. As you go through, you can see there's a list. All the ones that I have checked are ones that will be visible in my font section, and then the ones that aren't checked, I can always check them at any time to add them to my list, but this kind of makes it nice. So if you want to tailor it down so you're not looking through, 500 different fonts each time, you'll know how to do that. And then I just added that one onto my list. Just a simple click, and I click OK, and now I have access to it. Alright, This, of course, is your font size, bold, italics, underline, your normal stuff. The next one, of course, is your font color, so you can change your font. This is also where you can come in and highlight your text. So that's text. This is the highlight feature. That's not visible. Let me get rid of that. This is where you can add a link. So if I wanted to link this, say, to my website, I would be able to do that simply, and then now that's a link. And I could change the color to make it a little bit easier to see. After that, you have the add comment. Well, we will talk about comments in a little while. You have your alignment buttons. You also have your line spacing, numbered lists, bullet lists, and increase and decrease indents. Sometimes, depending on how you have your screen set up, you might not see all of these. You might have a little more button. So just be aware that if something disappears, you can't find your alignment buttons, look for more and click on it. It might pop up down underneath where you were originally working. So let's see. Next, there is an Explore button. So this is a newer feature. And when you click on the Explore button, when you have a more complex document, it'll often give you options of what you might want to do with it, or it might give you related research items. So kind of an interesting way to figure out how to spice up your document. So that's the introduction into all of the buttons. In the next tutorial, I will talk to you about your specific assignment and what you need to do to complete it. Thank you.